Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's start off with Liz and Jeff. Oh, Jeff, I can't believe that this man is a doctor. Okay? Because it took a crazy woman to make him reevaluate just how much of a POS of a parent, and in a way, just how much of a POS he has been all these years. He apologized to Liz, and he's like, I want a second chance. You want a second chance to be a father? I'm pretty sure that's like 30 something years far too late. I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, looking back, I can see what me and your mother has done, as far as, sending you away and the whole, thing what they did, hypnotized or whatever, what they, to make her forget. I can see how that was a bad decision now. See how that was a bad decision now. You had X amount of years to reflect on that. You had X amount of years to reflect on the fact that you sent your daughter away because the world was more important than your own daughter. And you're just saying this now. You just put onto this now. How is it possible that you have a medical license? That is the far more important question. So she pretty much just like, no, you are years too late to actually be a father to me now at this point. You are. And I don't blame her. All the stuff that she went through in her life, he wasn't there. So for him to have the audacity to basically be like, hey, I know I was kind of a terrible dad back then, but after talking to Heather Weber, I realized my mistakes. And how about we get this whole father and daughter thing one more try? Hmm? What do you say? That's the equivalent of what I heard. So she was like, no, I'm good. You can kick rocks. Pretty much. And yeah. I don't see another reason why he is actually there. Victor comes in to see Spencer, and tells him that, I was able to get your release early. And I just look at that and I'm like, you could have did that how long ago? You're just doing it now? I don't know. For some odd reason, it just seems a little too convenient. I mean, granted, I don't know how long he's been in jail for because you got to remember that this is soap opera time, not real time. Um, but I don't know, just him coming in and be like, oh, good news, I got your release. And now Spencer's like, oh, Uncle Vic, oh, I love you, pretty much like this, that, and the third, after you just heard not that long ago that he tried to get your grandmother killed. I guess that was just that didn't really. I don't get that whole. Then the next episode he flip flop, and now it's just like it's just totally out of his mind. Um, After that, Victor and Cyrus had some words. It didn't really go anywhere. Cyrus was pretty much voting, doing Bible quotes, and Victor was like, just leave my grandson, leave my nephew alone, otherwise X, Y, and Z, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Didn't really go anywhere. It was just pretty much the comment I was going to say, I realized I can't say it, so never mind. A measuring contest. We'll leave it at that. Valentine finds Anna, catches her up on everything that's going on, as far as Lucy being alive and Victor and Holly and all that other stuff. Felicia, at some point at the end of her meeting of talking about the diamond, the Ice Princess, talks to one of the cops, and pretty much the cop was like, we got a good lead on where Anna is. So there's a point where there's a knock on the door, and Valentine's answers the door, and he's like, it's you. And I'm like, what is with this it's you today? They did this on Days, now they're doing this on this episode. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think the whole Valentine tracking down Anna just to kind of catch her up on stuff, eh, it seemed more detrimental to Anna's survival than anything else. I mean, she went through all the trouble. She probably spent some money or whatever to get these new contacts and this place to live. Just Valentine to come in and be like, hey, by the way, um, this, that, and the third. Now you're all caught up. You don't know who was following him at this point. I mean, I know Valentine's supposed to be this master spy, whatever, but eh, Cody has pretty much thrown his own pity party. He's getting drunk, um, bothering people that don't want to be bothered. And Sam and Dante walk in this place and see him all kind of drunk, so they sit him down, and Dante's like, I'm gonna give you some coffee. Um, this is after, once again, Cody's like, oh, I'm leaving town. This time for real. Since I don't have Brit, I don't have necklace, I got nothing, so I'm just gonna go. And when Dante went to go give him coffee, Sam was like, yeah, no, that's the best news I heard all day. I was like, wow, okay, we're not even going to um but given Sam, she's not gonna sit there and sugarcoat it. She was like, yep, I want you gone, this, that, and the third. Um Now when Sam makes a call, Cody Smith they're talking about the fact that Sam knows about the arrest record and everything like that, and how it'd be better for him just to be gone. Apparently, whatever happened, it happened in like 1994, and the arrest records are sealed. But I'm just looking at this whole thing, and I'm like, well, it happened when he was a kid. It happened when he was a minor. So, what's going to happen if it gets if the truth comes out? Was he going to go back to? Is he going to go to jail? Is he going to lose his badge? I mean, what is really going to happen? I don't understand that. I mean, especially when you start to be a cop, it's not like they're not going to look into that. So I don't understand how is it going to be so bad that if the truth comes to light, oh, you're going to lose your job and you're going to go to jail. Like, I don't. I mean, what was it, murder or something? Because I'm pretty sure, even as a juvenile, I don't know if they were just. I don't really get it. I don't get it. It's not like it, and that's the sad thing. This isn't one of those things where it's like they kept a pack and they don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on file. So I just don't understand what kind of damage it can actually do to Dante at this point. I don't get it. But Dante did tell Sam like you might want to sit there and drop the whole arrest record for him. He's going through a lot with Britt, the necklace, and being the son of a POS of a human being. We might would just want to sit there and drop it and let it go for now. Finn confronts Nicholas about well, Finn comes to Spoon Island to talk to Nicholas, and he's like, there's a good chance that Esme may be here. There's a lot of ground to cover. Um, you know, and of course Nicholas is like, no, no, no. The staff looked. Everyone would have found out if if one second. The staff and the guards and everything like that would have told me if Esme was on the island, and so there's no way that she can be there. And so Finn is like, okay, cool. I thought I would just sit there and try to give you the courtesy of doing this nice way, pretty much. And in a minute that he mentioned, oh well, I guess the cops sit there and just have a better look at better chance to try to find this woman. So Nick is like, hey, I'll be right back. I'll talk to the staff again just to make sure that we didn't miss anything. The minute he leaves, Ben notices right on the counter, and I'm just like, bro, why would you just leave those things just out in the open? Why would you just leave those things out in the open? I don't get that. So out in the open, there's prenatal vitamins, and so he sees that he's like, hmm. So when Nick comes back, he's like, yeah, I didn't, they said they didn't see anything, but they'll keep an eye out. He's like, okay, cool. When he leaves and Nicholas closes the door, he notices that the vitamins are right there in plain sight, and most likely Finn saw them. Now, Before I really go further into this review, or pretty much kind of finish it, I think I'm pretty much almost done. Why would okay? So apparently, one of my subscribers told me that prenatal vitamins is something that you can get over the counter, and if that's the case, why does Liz need to actually steal them for? I thought about that during my stream, and I was like, over the counter. Why the hell is she sitting there stealing stuff for? I don't get that. So yeah, I don't understand that. But at the end, Finn does visit Liz, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No," and she hugs him. But of course, she hides the vitamins, behind her back, and this is going to be an interesting episode. Maybe the next day after. I saw the previews. I didn't see Liz there, so unless she's there, and it's just, I guess it's probably going to be the next day. I don't know. I think the thing that just bothers me about Spencer's sudden release, it just seems so convenient. It just seems so convenient. Like, oh, you can go home now. Oh, okay, I guess they need him for the love triangle scene, pretty much. That's the only way that makes sense. Now, when he does get back, he goes to Spoon Island, and he walks on in at Victor, and Victor's like, "Hey, I got your son released," or whatever. Now, in the previews, you saw Nicholas Nitter saying, "I'm sorry, but you can't stay here." And I'm like, "What?" Nicholas, what is your plan? I mean, granted, I don't think that he suspected that. Like, I don't think that he thought that Spencer was going to be released so soon. But he should have just made up something, anything. I mean, granted, I didn't see the episode yet, so I'm wondering what sort of lies you're gonna sit there and tell, other than, oh, by the way, son, I'm glad you're home from jail, that really nasty, terrible place. But yeah, you can't really stay here tonight. I mean, you can't stay here for a while, but I wonder what kind of excuse is gonna come up with. That is something I'm looking forward to. Now, Britt does invite Terry to her birthday party. Going to be the party that ends all parties, and of course, while she's talking to Britt, while she's talking to Terry about the party and everything, there's a couple of things that she says, and like as far as, well, you're gonna make a great chief of staff or whatever if the position ever becomes like just for one person. And Terry's like, well, what are you talking about? Like, just the way that she's acting, it just seems kind of like, it's like Terry's just like looking at her like, there's something off about her. Like, why isn't it talking like it's the end of the world? Like, we've been doing this whole, code thing for a while. Which, by the way, I'm going to sit there and go on record and say once again that it was a stupid idea. But, seeing how the actress hasn't been on this show in, like, months, I think that might actually be the way to go. Well, not really. They could have just had one person to do it. So, there is that. The scene with Robert, Laura, and Felicia. Talking about the necklace, after talking about Holly, after talking about Anna. Um, towards the end of this scene, because I'm gonna be honest, I felt like it just lasted way too long. Um, they figure out that it's not necessarily the diamonds that Victor wants. It's maybe a message inside the diamonds, which they did say that, and like Victor did sit there and say that like a couple of months ago. I actually forgot about that. That there's probably a message inside the diamonds after Laura Smith they talked about she did some online research and found out that diamonds can be used for so many different things. They come to the conclusion that we gotta sit there and figure out like how to crack this code before Victor does. That's it. That's it. This whole long drawn explanation, this whole long thing between those three just came down to that. And then, of course, Felicia was talking to the cop because the cop walked in there and was like, just want to thank you for the holiday meal, whatever, that you gave us while we had to work. And so when she was leaving, she was asking the officer about Mac and everything like that. And, the officer's like, hey, you didn't hear this from me, but, they got a location. They're coming close to a location, or they have a location on Anna. So it always does pay to sit there and be nice to people. just in general. Plus karma and everything. I just can't. I can't get over that saying. I'm like, Jeff, it is way too late for you to sit there and try to be a parent now. Like, I can't believe you actually had us sit through a good 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or however long that scene was, for you to sit there and beg your daughter to try to be a dad again. Because that's all that came out to be is, can I be a parent again? I'm like, Jeff, you can't be this stupid or this clueless. Isn't it amazing the people that say some of the dumbest things are in very high positions sometimes? Like doctors, lawyers, and stuff. And they'll just sit there. This is why I feel like I heard this statement a long time ago that out of the smartest people can say the stupidest things. And I'm not saying that being a doctor is a cakewalk. I mean, there's things that you got to sit there and know and learn and study and everything like that. So I'm not just saying that he is stupid intellectually, but there's clearly a lack of common sense and just self awareness that people just do not have. And watching Liz's parents in this episode, I mean, granted, it's a fantasy, obviously, but it's not that far from real life people. You ever just met somebody that just looked like, how did you manage to just be on this earth for so long? You know? Without that level of self awareness. Every time I see Jeff, every time I see him talk, every time I see him like get angry or like scared or nervous, I'm just like, this is the look of a man. This is the look of a human being that has zero self awareness. And it is just fascinating. It's sad, but it's fascinating to watch. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that happened. I really can't. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, and I'm going to start doing this every now and then, um, for some people that may be watching my channel for the first time or just don't know, I also do live streams Monday through Friday. I talk about the soaps, all Florida soaps. I like doing that. I like sitting talking to, the subscribers and followers and supporters and stuff like that. And also, there's times when I may not get to every single soap opera. Like, I'll watch it, but I may not always have time to sit there and do a review on it. But usually during my streams or whatever, I'll sit there and talk about significant things that happen throughout the week. So it's just nice to sit there and catch up in case I miss a review or whatever. That is Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching, and I'm gonna try not to do that as often because I understand that can be kind of annoying, but every now and then I don't think it's too bad. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video.